oxygen to put them in front with a minute to play. One massive final effort, one massive dagger through the Giants' heart.
Welcome to Little Birdie TV. I'm your host, Scoot, and we're back. It's been a massive weekend of sport, massive week of sport. We had Origin last week. Nick Tedeschi all over the Maroons. How could you not be? And then he doubled up on the quick backup with the women's, and it was Queensland again. So Toprope, Tedeschi, you're on fire. Both boys have had winning weekends on their subscription sets and seem like beach balls. Welcome, Nick Tedeschi, firstly.
Yeah, great to be back. It's been a bit boring too. We're just on the golf podcast and need a bit different get up on this one.
Quick costume change. I tell you what, the old makeup removers are a wonderful device. So just goes to show all the hoo-ha that women have to go through on a day-to-day basis to look good. But luckily, all three of us boys are stunning. But check out the golf podcast. We've got plenty of tips for the US Open at Pinehurst. Looks like an absolute beauty. Greens will be running super quick, and it looks near on impossible. So maybe Scotty Scheffler will get beat there, but definitely check out the golf podcast. It's a beauty, and screenshot it because I look like a cat. MG, how are you, mate?
Good, Scoot. Yeah, it's been a big week last week. Big week this week coming up as well, so plenty going on, and it was interesting week in the AFL. A lot going on, a lot of upsets as well, Scoot. So the bookies have had a fill, and somehow we've managed to survive the week with a profit.
What was going on with that market, Collingwood versus Melbourne? You were absolutely horned up deluxe for Collingwood. The market just kept running for the Ds, and well, that was an insipid performance from Melbourne. And there is, as you said last week's show, there's big problems at the Ds, and no one's really sure what it is yet, but the money just didn't make sense.
No, and got a late call up to the game, Scoot.
I did see that.
Couldn't work it out. I when I post the social podcast, obviously we shoot 4 days earlier or something, and post it on the morning of, and here I am declaring Collingwood and this and that, and sound like a clown a bit. And the market moved a goal almost, Melbourne at the jump. But all it does is force you to go again and back your judgment. But being there live, Scoot, I tell you what, after 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes, there's only one side you want to be on. It was over early. I think football's starting to, I don't know if it's lost its edge or whatever. They build it up as a big crunch match of what happened the year before when, Maynard hit Brayshaw and ended his career with the concussion. And tell you what, if that's Melbourne coming out showing some teeth, I'd like to box against it because they were pretty ordinary. And, not one person from Collingwood hit the deck in the early part of the game. So very disappointed if you are a Melbourne supporter, and if you're a Collingwood, it's a complete fill-up.
Especially on the big freeze day. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I noticed that you've left the big bolter, the boom side, the hottest side, or the second hottest side in the AFL off the run sheet yet again. Hawks dismantled the GWS Giants, and they got Dusty's Tigers for his 300th. So speaking of big occasions, what are Richmond going to do? Are Hawks just going to steamroll them again?
Yeah, I think no, we're not leaving them off the schedule. The schedule's kind of warranted to how the social goes, and Hawthorn don't play too many night games, unfortunately, so we don't get to discuss them too much. But they've been awesome. The last 6 weeks now, Scoot, they've unlucky, very unlucky against Port Adelaide to lose by a point. I mean, I know you would remember it. They gave up 2 goals in basically the last 30 seconds of the game to lose. Otherwise, they've had a clean sheet. So they're Sydney aside, who are obviously clearly ahead. They're in the next 2 or 3 teams for the last 6 weeks in form. And, there's been a bit of money for Richmond, but on form, Hawthorn will get the job done again this week. Scoot, you're back on board fully, I see. You've dropped off the Gold Coast Suns and back on the Hawthorn only now?
Well, I tell you what, I was pretty deflated once we have all those injuries at the start of the year. I thought that was, side away, and our season was cactus, and there was a lot of the media just written them off completely. But when you take out, 6 or 7 of our best young talent, guys like Will Day, Giath, there's a handful of players that were in our best side, and they just didn't play for the first 6 or 7 weeks. So I'm not surprised to see him slide back up the ladder. But I guess to start to knock off some of the big teams is it's quite spiriting, but it bodes well for probably next season if we put our logical and hats on rather than the heart. Speaking of some other stuff in AFL, the Elliot Yeo decision and then the St Kilda Gold Coast decision, there's just 2 little eye-openers of how badly the game has been officiated at senior AFL level. I did chime into the Vic Country versus South Australia game on, I think was it Sunday? I had it on the background. Tell you what, that is high-quality footy, well-umpired footy, free-flowing, high skill. We need to see more of that stuff. Like, Christ, AFL women, fair enough, time in the sun, but we need to see more of these under-18s kids. And the way they umpire the under-18 game is way better than the seniors.
Let them play, Scoot. It's not tough in the formula. It's been going on since, every week. Have the umpires had a good week, Scoot? Have they had a tick, a pass, or, any week so far they've been on the run
Zero.
sheet? We can't talk about and bash them all the time, but it's just got beyond a joke. They directly influenced 3 results on the weekend. We only had 8 games. The Gold Coast Suns, they talk about, if they miss by a game, they'll look back at that. It's momentum as well. They get over St Kilda and Gold Coast are in the 8. They play from a different vantage point. And, it's just not good enough, really. The Sicily one, whether that was a free kick or not, the kick shouldn't have definitely gone to Bruce. Chol marked the ball on the line, so I'm not sure how he doesn't take the kick as a left footer, and they give it to Bruce, who's an absolute weapon on his right, and snaps the goal. Unfortunately, we were on one of the losers we did have this week, Scoot. She's bad beats just keep coming, but. We're on Gold Coast, the 1 to 39 slot there at about the 7 to 4 range, and should have got the victory. And King gets an imaginary free kick to end the game. So that was very disappointing. Unfortunately, I think that my shoulders pulled up a bit sore from maybe punching a wall after that one. So it's disappointing. But the AFL's got to do something. They've got to clear house definitely at the end of the year. Get out the umpires that are not up to it, and unfortunately, that's most of them.
It's so bloody simple. It's the directive from above. People love AFL finals because they let it go.
Yep.
The under-18s is pure because they let it go and use common sense. And if it just trickles down to the lower leagues, the game is just completely shot, which is hard to imagine. But it's coming from every angle. Every fan is absolutely at fever pitch and boiling point with this. It's absolutely disgusting. And you've got so many blokes that say that they're starting to not watch the game, which is alarm bells, but it's surprise.
It's concerning, Scoot, when the AFL just come out now and they always defend them to the teeth, and they just come out and just said, got that wrong. So even, I don't know, I think from the inside, even now they're starting to give up a bit on the umpires. You just got to make them less about themselves and let the game go, as you said.
100%. Big week of sport. We'll fast forward and we'll get back to the rugby league because I can hear Toprope snoring in the background here. But French Open tennis, Swiatek got the job done. Alcaraz was super impressive. Despite Sinner winning more points there, still got the job done. So he was pure. We've got the golf US Open, as we spoke about. Got the previous show, so make sure you check out that one. Scheffler's red hot favourite, top sport $4.20 favourite there, and it's going to be a cracker. Boston lead 2-0 in the NBA Finals, so all your action there at Top Sport. Nick Tedeschi's about to launch his Olympic Games package soon as well, so couple of weeks away, Top Rope, and this is where this is like an early Christmas present for you, the Olympic specials. There's just so many markets. Bookies usually throw them to the apprentice bookmakers, and you just carve them up year after year.
Oh, it is the absolute best. We find the modern pentathlon winner. We dive deep into women's heavyweight weightlifting. We're finding winners in the shooting. You've got to know the difference between your air pistol and your your rifle. Oh, it's great stuff. We filled up, I think, on the Com Games last time.
Yeah.
Filled up on Olympics. And then we'll do it all again. So, Winter Olympics, so we had a crash last time as well. So we had most of the biathlon was out there. But we did the work. The work's already started. We're kind of putting it in the spreadsheets and getting stuck right in. So just subscribe. Right? Don't go, we've won a few winners in the first 4 days. We'll try them out. Don't miss any winners. It goes for 2 weeks. Get on now. It'll pay for itself.
Bookies absolutely hate betting on this. They sort of do it as a marketing exercise, and then you got little weasels like Nick Tedeschi that just strip them apart. So there'll be plenty of clean and there'll be plenty of jerking after we find the winners. So he's a weightlifting machine, old Top Rope. He will carry everyone on his shoulders and it'll be an absolute fill-up. So we've warned you, we've told you, and then we'll show you the P&L after the Olympics because this is just a money-making machine, this man. Mr. Tedeschi, he absolutely loves it. Let's have a look at AFL Premiership prices, and I keep seeing a 3 beside Sydney's name, and I think that's good betting. $3.30, the Swans, and they are absolutely on fire. Carlton might be the only fly in the ointment there, $5.50. Collingwood, $6. They need lots of their players back. I guess MCG is a big HGA advantage for them, so they could be in the mix as well. GWS can't even beat my Hawks. You got Geelong, Fremantle on the next couple of lines. These teams look like they're missing a zero, these next 3. Geelong, Fremantle and Melbourne. If we keep scrolling down the page, can't believe the Hawkers. Let's just talk about the Hawkers. They're now into $61 for the Premiership flag. So exciting stuff. What?
Go on, Scoot.
Yeah, you're right. No chance.
Yeah, I agree with you, Scoot. I think Sydney should be a little shorter, and I think Collingwood should be second favourite for now. Carlton are going okay, but Carlton are going good. But yeah, I think Collingwood, once they get their players back there, the main danger to the Swans.
Yeah, Swans are just a bet now, and then you can create your book after they get their way through the first and second finals. But they're no moral to win on the big stage. But geez, they're going to be hard to beat or hard to hold out of the actual AFL Grand Final. It'll be a monumental choke if they can't make the big dance. What happens on Grand Final day? Anything can happen, but that's how I'm definitely setting my book up. Brownlow medal, Tricky Nicky Dacos limped off there, which was a bit of a heart starter for Collingwood fans. $3.80. Heaney, $3.80. Cripper is $6.75, and you got Merritt $9.50. Warner $10. Sarong $14. Coleman medal, Charlie Curno's on fire, $2.14. Benny King $4.10. Hogan $4.90, and McKay, $11, and then you got Waterman and Langford rounding out the market there. Premiership prices in the NRL, pretty. There's not much happening here. $3 the Panthers, $5.50 Broncos, Roosters $6.50 Storm, and then you got the Sharks $7.50. My old team, the Warriors, I tuned it at $15. You got 50s, and now they're back into $21. So. Good little fluctuations for a couple of teams outside the market there, but it's much the same across both codes. MG, as you said, you had a pretty good weekend last week, 8-3. You went in round 13, 27.5 units bet plus 11.64 units, running at 42% pot. So an absolute fill up. And yeah, as you said, could have been bigger. And now you're earning at 5% for the season, 14.49 units. So the cream is definitely rising to the top. Toprope, you steadied off the back of the soft Origin week, 5 wins, 3 losses, 18 units bet, 1.23 units at plus 6.83%. So yeah, you're nearly back up to your plus 50 units. If you boys at home are listening to this and wondering how you're betting so badly and these guys are filling up, it's pretty easy. You just head to littlebirdie.live and jump in and pay the fine, $25 a week for MG and $33 a week for Nick Tedeschi, and then you'll start to be getting cut off from your bookmakers, and you'll have to be asking everyone for accounts. You'll be betting in the missus' name, and it'll be an absolute fill up for you guys too. So stop listening and just start doing and get into the Little Birdie Live shop. You'll absolutely love it. Let's have a look at the first game, Friday night, Brisbane versus St Kilda. Make sure you get a Scotch and Coke in your hand to watch this one. $1.20 the Lions. St Kilda Saints $4.40, 27.5 the line, and over 160.5 the total here. Brisbane seem to be reborn after last week, but yeah, they'll try and put them in a submission hold, the filthy Saints.
Yeah, it's it's the end of Thursday night footy for the year as well, Scoot. So we get Thursday night off, free kick for the league. So yeah, on to Friday night football. Yeah, I just think like the way Brisbane come back off the bye fresh, looked good last week. I think, loving the 365 going up early the week before too, Scoot. Whoever's putting those up, keep doing that as early as possible. Maybe let us on for a bit more, it'd be good. But yeah, they posted 14 last week, Brisbane. Now they're 27. So this is only going one way. They opened up 24 for the Monday, Scoot. Gordon 27 already. I'd be surprised if this doesn't almost push 30. The only thing holding back the line here is just the way St Kilda just turned it into an under 10s game. All I can say here is, I think the price again's come out right on the total around the 160. But here's a stat for you, Scoot. St Kilda interstate under total 17-2. So they really try and score St Kilda. They put on 51 points in their win last week. So I think if Brisbane can find a way around, or if someone tells Ross Lyon they're on Friday night stage and maybe resemble something that plays AFL, it might be a scoring game. But yeah, I just think I don't think St Kilda will score too much. Again, I think Brisbane will get the job done at the line. I think it'll end up in the 30s almost here. And if you're going to continue the trend on the total, you have to back the under 161, 162 out there.
Free kick league Thursday night, free kick league Friday night. There'll be absolutely no chance I'll be watching that one. And what a performance they've been putting up, the old Sainers. Let's talk some positive news. It's the second versus fourth clash here. It's Cronulla versus the Dolphins. They're a little bit sleepy up the top of the NRL ladder there. $1.32 Cronulla, $3.40 the Dolphins. Market giving them not much respect. Lions a whopper here, 8.5, and the total's 47.5. Toprope, are they getting under a few people's guard, the Dolphins?
They've been under people's guards for the last 18 months. They were always sitting on the guards here. That they are. I suspect a good bet this week. I'm not launching at the Dolphins this week, but I'd rather be on a plus 8.5 than like 8.5. Bit of a letdown spot for the Sharks. They had a big game in Brisbane last week. No one thought they'd do any good. They'd hammered by Penrith the week prior, and they lost the Eels, so they were battling right in there. But Dolphins have covered 10 of 16, getting 8+ start. They are 9 and 4 against the spread, conceding 26+. They come with a bye, won't come ready. No knock on the Sharks here at all, but they are 5 and 11 against the spread against top 5 teams, so a little concern there. Best bet in this game, I think there's going to be plenty of points in this one. Over is 5 and 1 in the last 6 Sharks night games, 5 and 1 in the Dolphins playing New South Wales. And 7 and 2 in their playing state, and 12 and 7 when the Dolphins got the loss. So there's some points in here. When they met last year, they already have a meeting. Tallied 52 points. I think there's some points in this one.
Talakai, he's been on fire. They've been using him as a bit of a pinch hitter off the bench, maybe to get his fitness back up. But he's going to start this week, is he?
Yeah, he started last week. Scored a try. He scored 4 in his last 6 games. He is playing for absolute beast. He is absolutely in the mix for one of those bench origin spots that will need to be reworked, you'd think, for Origin 2, so he'll be looking for a big game, and he will operate on the left, and the Dolphins are most vulnerable on their right edge, so I think it's a little matchup there. So, yeah, I think it's 340 or 350 or Talako's score, so it's a great bet.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Let's have a look at Western Bulldogs versus Fremantle Saturday afternoon. Somewhat traditional time slot, 1:45. Western Bulldogs, $1.65. Fremantle Dockers, $2.18, 5.5 the line. A little bit of a nibble for the Bulldogs. And then 166.5 the total here. A couple of yo-yo teams here.
Yeah.
MG.
Yeah, not a bad assessment there, Scoot. 11th v 7th on the ladder. You got real contrasting styles here. The Bulldogs have, in terms of scoring of totals, they've played over. They're 10 and 3 on the year, and Fremantle are to the under 8 and 4. So Bulldogs last 9 games have scored 7 over. So they're involved in high scoring games, and Freo are 4 or 5 to the under. So they love to play the defense. Freo only give up 67 points per game, which is pretty stingy. I like the Bulldogs in terms of the number here, Scoot, -5.5. They did worry me last week. I thought they looked a little tired, and they got their last match before going into the bye. So as long as they don't switch off, and I don't think they can afford to either, Scoot. They're 5 wins and 8 losses. So, if they lose this one and go into their bye at 5 and 9, they're sitting 11th at the moment. I think their season's almost over. So they need to get themselves up for this one to go into the bye off a win. Freo, on the other hand, come off the bye, so they'll be fresh, travel interstate. Fremantle's record's not bad in Victoria. They've won the last 5 straight, so they'll be up and about. So I'm not going to talk you out of the Freo side if you do like them. But, yeah, I just think the Bulldogs look a little cheap at the -5.5 at the Dome, even though their record's only 2 out of 6 this year. I just think they've got too much to lose. I think if they lose this one, Scoot, I think their season's over.
Are we a bit harsh on the Bulldogs, given they've got so many injuries?
No, I think it's more the coaching style that seems to happen in their losses. The Bulldogs have only got one game plan. If it doesn't work, they lose the game.
Throw it out the window. Let's have a look at Saturday night at South Sydney Rabbitohs, my team, against my second team, the Broncos. $1.60 the Broncos, 235. Line 4.5, 49.5 the total here. Top rope. Rabbits got the job done last week.
I'm not sure what's happening with the audience, but they're playing Friday night for Suds, so we'll fast forward to
Friday night.
get on the Friday night. But like the Broncos here, Souths have definitely come good. Last couple of weeks, I love the movement of White into the halves with Cody Walker. But Brisbane, this is a real must bring out with Brisbane. They've dropped 8th on the ladder. Second pressure favourites all year, 8th on the ladder. They've got a little feeling about South Sydney last year when they completely capitulated. So around this time of the year, I think it's a must win for the Broncos. I think they'll be ready for it. Got a good record against South. I think South defensively still a long way to go. Broncos have travelled well too. They've covered 8 of their last 10 in the state. They've covered 7 and 9 as an interstate favourite. They've covered 4 straight as an interstate favourite with 4 or more. And the Rabbitohs, their numbers are a bit skewed by the fact they were such a horrific bend team for a long time. But they've covered just 1 of their last 10 out of court. So jumping all over the Broncos as well.
Don't mind bounce back. Could be a bit of fake news, the South, especially this would be A-grade form, isn't it?
I would think that South's now in a position where they can go and thump bad teams like this last week. But I don't think they're anywhere near whether they're doing against the good teams.
Outstanding. All right, yeah, I'll be happy to be chips in Broncos on the bounce back there. Let's have a look at Adelaide Crows versus Sydney Swans. $1.35. The Swans from starting to get a chubby here. $3.10 the Crows. 17.5 the line. 164.5. Wowee, the Twitter sphere wasn't kind to Adelaide. A lot of people saying lowest our club's been for years. We're rudderless. How insipid they were last week. To me, that says that $1.35 about the Swans this week. They could play this bloody at the North or South Pole, and the Swans would still find a way to destroy this mob. MG?
Yeah, I think you just have to keep your powder dry here, Scoot. I think you might get better prices. This has got Collingwood written all over it from Monday to me. Open 20 to start with, gone down to 17. So I can't explain the early move for Adelaide at this stage other than just maybe they've got a response coming. Being insipid, losing to Richmond last week. I'm not sure. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. The season's over at 4 and 8. Coach in denial. He thinks they're going well, showing signs of improvement. I'm not sure where. Whether they think Sydney, they've won 8 straight now. I know you can't just keep winning every week. But I just think their class is above here, Scoot. So. It's not a bet at this stage. I'm just going to see how far this market goes down. But if you see a 15 or something ridiculous, I think it might end up a play. But at this stage, the play's on the over here, Scoot, over 164.5. It's at least a goal short for mine. I know it's at night in Adelaide, but I think they're a high-scoring team between them. They average 175 points head-to-head between them over the last 12 games. Sydney, in their last 3, are 3 straight overs. They've covered their last 7 now. Swans covered 10 out of 12 on the year. So they're just in destruction mode, Sydney. And this is, when you match up the team ratings against each other, it's an absolute nightmare for Adelaide's midfield, which are same. And they don't like coming up against sides, especially like Sydney, who've just got speed and skill on the ball. So coming up against Goulden, Warner, Heaney, Adams with Grundy in the ruck, and Adelaide is struggling in that area at the moment. Yeah, if they get off to a fast start, the Swans here, Adelaide might pack it in. This might be a larger number. So I'm going to wait to see how the market finishes on the side. But yeah, for now, I'm just happy to back the over. This will only go one way. A bit like Collingwood last week. We'll back the Swans late and we'll back the over total. Beautiful.
Looking at Top Sport here, my little same game multi-sickness. I can take Sydney Swans $1.35 into MG's best bet here over 164.5, and I can get $2.50. That is absolutely sexual, and that is how I'll be playing, and I am going to be launching that one. I'll just sit home and cheer that one over the line there. Swans are a great watch in contrast to the Saints. Sydney Swans will absolutely destroy this mob, so that'll be money for jam. Even if they have a quiet one, don't have to worry about covering the line. So $2.50, same game multi, Swans head-to-head into the total over 164.5, and just cheer the red and the white and sausage roll goals. Let's have a look at Saturday night, Eels versus the Roosters. Roosters need to steady the ship here, and I'll let Toprope tell us about the Eels. That's one of his favourite topics. $1.45, the Roosters, $2.75, the Eels, 6.5 the line, 51.5 here, expecting big points at Combank Stadium.
Yeah, plenty of points. You're right. Roosters need to win this. Had a week where their favourite cheese has been dropped. Suspect they're trying to move him out of the club. He's some big money formed over there. So maybe return successful stretch on the cards if you think, or something somewhere else. But worth noting that the Eels are track Baron 13-47 in his last 3 years. So, wouldn't be standing that on. Eels, they've covered us 3 in their last 15. That's unbelievable for them. I do not step up at that time. I love points. It's just 2008. The over is 17-5 in Roosters Eels games.
Whoa.
The over is in a massive spot for the Eels here. 25-11 when they're a dog, 29-12 when they're off a loss, 16-8 when they're a 4+ dog, 9-4 when they're a combat off a loss. They absolutely go to water. That is not the Eels scoring points. They can score a few, but that is them going to absolute water. The Roosters have gone over in their last 5 away from Allianz. 14-8 when they were both over 4 more. I think there's going to be plenty of points. The Roosters are the best attack in the comp. It didn't fire against the Cowboys prior to the bye. There were plenty of work done on that. I think we're up and about. I think the Roosters are in for a 40-point win here and could get well under it.
Yeah, outstanding. I do note that you've got Dom Young as a 2-unit play in your try scorer bet, and then you've got Joey Manu too for a 2-unit play, and just a little circle around and a little bit of a circle jerk. Season try results for you, plus 27.49 units at 12%. So nothing to sneeze, and a nice little bit of mayonnaise, that little really good Japanese mayo, the one that's not good for you. If you put that in a same game multi, you got Dom Young, Manu into the total over 51.5. You get 480 for that little delicacy top rope.
Just go and spend it. Go and spend it now.
Mate, Q-Pie mayo on top.
Won't be losing. A lot of mayo fan, but do like a little bit of something on top. Don't worry about that. That game though, we're plenty of points with the Roosters, and Micah Sevo is an absolute liability defensively. He ruins wherever inside him, so they'll be running it that side all day. And he's lost all his speed right now. So Sevo might score a couple himself with about 5 in. So Joey and Dom go the way like that.
Outstanding. Love it when he talks like that. I get very excited. Sunday, we've got a cracking clash with 2 teams that need to really steel themselves here. They're under a fair bit of pressure. GWS Giants and Port Adelaide Power. But I say pressure. They just need to, I guess, prove that they're going to be premiership contenders. There's a lot of people poo-pooing them at the moment. $1.60 the Giants, $2.28 Power, 8.5 the line, and then total over under 170.5 here. Ooh, market looks pretty right for me, MG. I need you to steer me into a wager.
Yeah, it's a cracking game, Scoot. You're right, 8th v 4th, and yeah, they're both under a little pressure, especially the Giants. Remember, they got off to a great start. I think they were 6-0. They've lost 4 of their last 5 and completely out of form. They've had a few injuries. They're expecting a couple of keys back. Buckley into defence, Cumming will come back, and I think Kelly's a chance as well. Port will get a couple back as well. Rose, their captain, looks like he's going to return, and Rioli. So there's some good ins for both sides. You're right, this is a cracking game. The market's come up spot on. I can't really tip you into too much. If I was going to side, I'd have to go with Port at the plus. But yeah, Port off the bye, travelling. I mean, there are some negatives around them. There's no real guide in the stats here. They're very even between the 2 teams down the line. Both similar, right on 90% and 90 points per game offense as well, and very similar defenses. So not a lot in this, Scoot. So if I was going to have a play, I'd have to shade with the plus, because that's what you do when there's no advantage. And yeah, the total's pretty much. I'd probably just go to the under, just because I think this is going to be a pressure game. And key with both coming off losses, and obviously need to get a win on the board, especially the Giants at home. We can't afford to lose. So I think the 170 just looks about a goal too big. So if I was going to have one play, to be the under total. But yeah, looking forward to this Sunday afternoon. Not a traditional time slot at 4 p.m, but reasonably early finish for us on the Sunday, Scoot.
Yeah, outstanding. So a couple little peanuts on the under total, and cheer a Ross Lyon submission for that one. Let's have a look at the final match of the round. It's Knights versus Panthers. And no surprise here, Panthers a very short favourite, $1.26, $3.90 the Knights, 10.5 the line, 45.5 the total here. Toprope.
They're not a big betting game for me, but I suspect this line is a touch too big. We'll be with the Knights small. They've covered their last 6 as a home dog. They've covered 11 of 13 day games. They've covered 7 of their last 10 home day games. They've got a much better record from a betting sense without Ponga than with him. They come off a pretty good recovery against the Storm down in Melbourne. Absolutely no nothing Penrith at all. it's not a bounce back game. About 10-3 first team 22 plus, but still no Cleary. And they've got a bang on average record as a big road favourite. 15 is 29 and a double digit road favourite here. So, no off on Penrith, but we'll usually bet small on the Knights.
Okay. Any update on Cleary? When's he going to be back?
No, I don't know Cleary, but it won't be till at least after the Origin series. So. But maybe just got engaged. There's a little rumour going around. Maybe just got engaged to Australia's favourite Mary Style. So, big watch on Prodigy down the line there.
They'll be waiting a while, I would have thought, but be interesting. I'll leave it alone. All right, I think we've previewed a couple of pearlers this week, and there's plenty of action on all sides of the sporting globe. There, we've got Stanley Cup, we've got the NBA, we've got the golf that's going to be unmissable there at Pinehurst. So we've got the special standalone show for that one. Don't miss that one. But the AFL and the NRL got some good fixtures this weekend. So plenty of action for the remote control and MG. Good luck on the weekend, and you too, Mr. Tedeschi, and hopefully we're talking fill-ups next week.
Locked in.
Outstanding stuff. Thanks, MG.
See you, boys.
Big thanks to our major sponsors, Top Sport and Punting Form, and see you next week.